Like the United States, Israel is a thriving, active democracy. There are different points of view within Israel and factions, and you probably have, in some ways, a minority government now in terms of the size of the party.
Oh no, it's it enjoys a majority in the Knesset.
Okay.
It still has.
And well, how would you describe to people who don't follow Israeli politics well, what the kinds of debate and what kinds of what unanimity is there in Israel at the present time?
Okay, we have time for a 7-day seminar on...
You said you were an academic, but you got to narrow it down sometimes.
Yes, that's true. Well, Israel is indeed, as you said, it's a very vivid and democracy, sometimes too vivid and too effervescent. Here in the United States, I don't know how, you only have two parties. We have two parties, and only in the first 2 or 3 seats in our parliament, and we have like 20-something in the rest of it. It's a parliamentary system. Actually, the people vote for lists, and the whole country is one single voting electoral area. We didn't show the mapping which showed that the size of Israel. So Israel is the size of New Jersey, more or less. I think West Virginia is like 3 times Israel. And our system is proportional. You need a certain number, I think 3 elected members of the Knesset in order to be able to be represented in the Knesset, but that still leaves a room for a lot of parties. So public opinion is very segmented, and there has been a process in the last decades actually of the big parties losing weight, and therefore making it more complicated to form the coalitions needed to stay in power. So the prime minister is sort of primo inter pares, is the first among equals. Well, usually he's more equal than the rest, but how much more equal depends on his standing, on his coalition partners. The ministers do not serve at the pleasure of the president, as here they do. I am sure that an Israeli prime minister will like that to be so, but are actually representatives of their party. And although the prime minister can formally dismiss them, he does that at the peril of losing his minority. So it produces a lot of debate, a lot of different opinions are represented in the Knesset. Some of them openly outrageous, depending on which side of the outrageous you're looking at. But you have a lot in the left, a lot in the right, and us being Israel, of course, a lot of spiritual heritage there. You only not only have left and right, you have up and down too. So fascinating.